So today's video, I'm gonna be talking to you about creating client-centered care in the home. So what does that mean exactly? I'm gonna break it down in a few steps. Hello everyone, this is Michelle Williams. Many of you know me as Coach Michelle. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Happy New Year. And for those of you that are chiming in for the first time, welcome. For those of you that are returning, you already know how I feel about you. So today's, let me do that again. First one I'll say is understanding the principles of what client-centered care is when you're providing services in the home via your home care agency. So I would say to break that down is to understand the client's needs as an individual. So a lot of times when people have dementia or a specific, illness, disease, condition, a lot of people tend to group them together and treat them all the same. So when I'm thinking about client-centered care, I want you to think about the client as an individual. What are their values? What are their preferences? What are their personal needs? So I want you to think about all of those things when you're thinking about each of your clients individually versus grouping them together collectively, and then acknowledge their decision making and honor it. You don't want to have your caregivers making someone do something, right? So we are in their home. I'm always, saying we're an extra pair of eyes, ears, and hands for them, but many of them are able to articulate, what their needs are, what their preferences are, and able to make decisions, and they just need some assistance in the home. Now, of course, I'm not talking about those individuals that are total care and may have someone speaking on their behalf or may not be able to make decisions. So you gotta make sure you're following that care plan that was created by your nurse if your state requires you to have a nurse. Definitely you wanna empower them and encourage them to participate in the creation of that care plan or service plan. So it is, again, centered around them, and you're not arbitrarily just saying this is what they need, this is what their needs are. So you want to involve them and empower them to participate in that creation of that document that your caregiver will follow while in the home, right? And then the second thing I'm going to say is conduct a comprehensive client assessment, which will be used to create that service plan and or care plan, because you want that personalized care. So I would say that's the second thing. The third thing I would say would be promoting independence and dignity, right? So while you're in the client's home, you want to be very respectful, you want to be very mindful, and you want to promote independence. So if someone is able to wash their face, even though you're assisting them with a bed bath, let them wash their own face. So you want to promote that level of independence as much as possible, because that goes hand in hand with dignity. Most of the people that we're providing care for, at some point, they were providing care for themselves. So there is a level of dignity that we want to maintain for them and not just take that away. So I would say that's extremely important and would be my number 3. And then my number 4, building a strong relationship, like a cohesive flow from when you go into the home as the owner or administrator, and then you have that pass off, if you will, to your nurse, and then you have that pass off from the nurse to the caregiver. So you want that continuity of care, and you want to promote that connection as far as that caregiver relationship. So when the caregiver is in the home, then the client starts to build that level of trust with the caregiver. So that's important to build that relationship, right? Now, with that being said, you want to be involved in that as well, because you don't want to take the agency out of it and then the client and the caregiver become so close. Now the client is asking personal questions, or the caregiver is sharing answers to questions that were not asked and or may have been asked but should not be discussed with a client, meaning how much you pay the agency, how much the agency pay you, etc. And then I would say the next thing is effective communication skills. No matter what business you're in, and including personal, you should have effective communication techniques, right? It could be an empathetic ear, right? So you're actively listening. If someone is nonverbal, what are those clues? Facial expressions, eye contact, hand movement, gestures, and things like that. So you want to make sure that you are providing, and communicating in an effective way with those nonverbal cues, as well as effectively listening, with an empathetic ear, and also understanding the client concerns. Very, very important. It's like, how can you really listen to me and help me if you're not understanding my concerns, right? So that falls under that effective line of communication and the different techniques that you should train your caregivers on, right? So a lot of times when we're focusing on continuing education, training and training in units and requirements, if you will. Oh, I gotta have X amount of hours per year for my caregiver. A lot of times we're just focused on the care side of it, but what about the customer service side of it? What about the effective communication side of it? So diversify the different type of trainings that you guys establish for your caregivers. And then lastly, I would say incorporate a way for a client and caregiver to provide feedback to the agency. You want to have it where it's not just your way or the highway. You want your team to feel like they are, or your caregivers to feel like they are a part of a team and they do have a voice. That's something that I'm really big on with my team members. In all of my businesses, everyone has a voice. So it's very important to create some form of feedback. It could be, via having a team member call your clients, once a month, once a quarter, whatever it makes sense for your business. It could be having a digital form. It could be having some type of chat box on your website. So there's so many different ways to communicate and open that level of communication via feedback. And it also allows you to continuously improve, right? So you want to grow your company. You want to provide a better level of care. You want to constantly be aware of what's going on in the community, more so from a holistic approach. You want to, think about the clients from a physical perspective, emotional perspective, a social, I believe that's how you say it, psychosocial perspective, to ensure you have that client-centered care. So super, super important. So I hope these things help you. My goal in January is to put you guys in a position to set you up for success from the very beginning, right? And some of these are foundational things. I know lately in some of my videos, I've been going pretty deep, but I wanted to start off the new year with really fundamental topics and training to start you off on the right foot, especially those of you that are just getting started. Guys, there's something really important that went into effect January 1st of 2024. I did a Facebook Live a couple of days ago. If you are not following me on Facebook, I strongly recommend that you go to I Am Coach Michele with 1L on Facebook. Follow, like, and look for the video I did a couple of days ago. It says PSA, public service announcement. It's really, really important, guys, to know this new requirement that has come out for us business owners. So very, very important. So if you haven't gotten your ticket for conference, I want you to jump over to homecarecoaching.com, go to the menu, click on events, and get your ticket. As soon as you make your purchase, go to your email. You're gonna receive an email from TicketBud. So many times it goes to spam. I want you to get it, click on the link, and reserve your room for the host hotel, so you can take advantage of all of the benefits that we have outside of conference, meaning like our private meet and greet that's happening and many other things. So you want to be at the host hotel, and it's almost sold out. So you want to get over there real quick. And of course, if you're looking for assistance with starting and growing your business, we would love to be your provider of choice. You can find that information on homecarecoaching.com, click on services, and then you'll get a list of services that we provide. So you guys take care. God bless. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and turn on your notifications so you can be notified every time I drop some gems. Take care, guys. God bless. And I wish you an amazing, prosperous, happy new year.